So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. By the title of this video you're probably thinking, oh here he goes again, he's gonna rant to EA. And you are absolutely right, because they deserve it. As I'm sure you know by now, I'm not a guy which kisses EA's ass or sucks up to them. I'm just a guy that wants the best for the game, and if it means having a go at them or ranting, I will do so. And unfortunately that's what I have to do today because of the FIFA 19 beta and what an absolute shambles of a beta it was. There's not just one reason as to why the beta sucked, there's many reasons which I'm going to be going over in today's video. So I hope you stay tuned to hear my rant on this game. But before we get into the video guys, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one. It would really mean a lot to me. And don't forget to turn on notifications and click the bell so you actually get, my videos in your sub box. So I think it's pretty important that I mention that a beta is not the finished game, but what I'm trying to say is a beta is like pretty much the final game, but without a few minor tweaks and changes that they have to polish up the product. I suppose a real life example of this is going to the barbers and saying you want a bowl cut, and then he cuts it but it's slightly too long, so you ask him to trim it up a bit, and there you go. That's what the beta did. It changed it by that slight amount. And I get that betas are all about gathering opinions and advice for the finished game, but there's a massive flaw with what EA did with this. Now before we get into the actual details of why the beta was horrendous, we've got to speak about the people that EA actually invited to play the beta. Now this isn't me getting salty at the fact I didn't get to play it, that's not what I'm saying at all, I couldn't really care less to be honest with you, but it's more to do so with the feedback that they're actually going to get from the players they've invited. So where I'm going with this is that they've invited players that have played, I don't know, maybe 100 games max throughout the whole game cycle, and they haven't invited people that have played 5,000 games plus for the past 10 years. Now to me, that doesn't really seem logical, especially since the goal of a beta is to gather, valuable feedback which can better off your game for its proper release. Now who's going to provide more valuable feedback for EA? Little 8-year-old Timmy who's played 50 games in total and is in Division 8? Or a FUT founder who's played 5,000 plus games every Ultimate Team that's dropped, that has full knowledge of the game, knows its ins and outs, knows all of the mechanics, and is more likely to give feedback because they care about the game? Now I know it's not all about Ultimate Team, I was just making a quick point. Now I just want to say, I don't agree with the fact that you have to get lucky to play in the beta. I think the beta should be open to everyone to see what the game's going to be like. I think it's only fair that everybody gets to try the game. I don't see why some people should get to try it and others don't. At the very least, they could have made it so if you pre-order the game, you get to play it. It's not that hard, EA. Everybody else does it. So there's the first problem. It's a closed beta and they've got very casual players playing it that barely play the game, opposed to people that know the game inside out. Honestly, most of the people they've invited to play the game are not gonna give feedback. They're probably gonna play about 5 games, to be honest with you. They're going to forget all about the feedback part and just play a few games because they see that they get to play FIFA 19 early. What are EA going to gain from that? Now I understand the beta is also meant to give people a feel for the game before it's released, but EA don't get anything back from this. What are they meant to work with if they give it to a minority of players who barely understand the game? How are they going to know what to improve? Or if, in the very least, they do give feedback, they're probably going to give them feedback on the wrong things and mechanics, which most people aren't going to like. Not to mention it's a closed beta, so nobody's allowed to share gameplay clips, screenshots or anything, so most of us can't even see what the game's actually like either. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying casuals shouldn't have a say in the game, because that's completely wrong. I think there should be a balance between the game being fun for the casuals and also fun for the hardcore players. But I'm just saying they should focus more on the people that actually play their game all the time and know what's best for it, opposed to those that don't. Now we move on to the actual game. Oh boy, this is going to be entertaining. Only EA could make 2 weeks worth of gameplay tweaks and sell it off as a brand new product, because that's what they've done here. Now I get it, it's a football game, there's only so much you can do, but there was so much that people were asking for that they could have easily done within a year, that they just didn't do. Now just excuse Ultimate Team from this whole conversation, because they've obviously done quite a lot for that, and I understand that, that's their most popular game mode, but I'm talking about career mode and pro clubs. Now for me, this is shambolic and a joke. I'm sure we've all seen leaked footage of these game modes now. If you haven't, you could just search it up and you'll find it. And if it didn't say it was FIFA 19, you could not tell a bloody difference between that and FIFA 18. I kid you not, in two of the most played and loved game modes in the entire game, they've changed nothing. Nothing. Now let's talk about career mode, for example. There was like this community developer like question and answer thing where you got to ask, questions to the developers to see what had changed in the game. And somebody asked what was the biggest change in career mode, and they said UEFA Champions League and Europa League. Now, just from hearing that, that's embarrassing. Like, if your biggest change is a couple of licenses, then you're in trouble. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to have the UEFA Champions League and Europa League, but that can't be the focal point of this year's changes. It just can't be. That's like atrocious. All that is like a reskinned tournament within career mode where they've changed some of like the interface and that. Like, they haven't done anything other than that, other than maybe a bit of commentary, but it's just recycled from the actual, Champions League game mode in the game. The biggest problem about this is EA have the cheek to resell this exact same game for about £50 every year. Like, career mode has not changed since about FIFA 13, I don't believe. Maybe it's changed a little bit, but obviously I don't play it that much, so I wouldn't notice the minor changes, but from what I see, it's the exact same thing. So if you buy FIFA for career mode, you might as well not bother, like seriously. If you ever wonder why EA are like one of the most hated game developers in the world, then just look at that. Because I don't have anything to say to that. How are you going to re-release the exact same thing and make people pay the exact same amount of money they just paid last year for the same thing? Like, it's beyond me, the cheek they have to do that. Seriously, what's the point in having a beta for career mode if they haven't changed anything? Like, you might as well just make me play FIFA 18 and give you feedback on that instead. You've done nothing to the game. And if you think that's bad, let's just get on to pro clubs. Now, this is the bit which really winds me up because I like pro clubs a lot, and so do many other people. It hands down has the most potential out of any other game mode in FIFA, but is the most underlooked and, neglected mode in the entirety of the game. The concept of this mode is incredible, and it annoys me and so many other people that they just don't seem to give a toss about it, because the idea of creating a club and a player and playing with your friends in the same club is amazing. And it's the only game mode which gives like a team feel to FIFA. It's the only mode that can ever be close to real football, because in real football you don't control 11 people, you are one player and you have to work with 10 other people to win games. So in pro clubs you can have up to 11 people and you can work with them to win games. It requires proper cooperation and teamwork opposed to the AI doing it all for you. Now honestly, what would you rather watch? Would you rather watch an esports match where there is two people playing against each other, where they're controlling one player in the team and the rest is controlled by the computer? Or would you rather see two teams, 11 versus 11, where each player is controlled by a person and you see more realistic play and football where it's dictated completely by the user and not the computer? Now you look at all the popular esports games, they are all team-based games. You see Call of Duty, maybe Fortnite, maybe League of Legends, all that kind of thing. It's all team-based, that's what makes it so special. And if there was ever a mode to take FIFA to the next level in the esports scene or just the game scene in general, it would be pro clubs. And that's why it annoys me so much as to why they've done nothing. Think of all the things they could do with pro clubs that could make it, the best game mode in the entire game. I sat down for about 10 minutes to think about changes they could make to pro clubs, and I've already thought of ways in which the game mode could be incredible. So the main thing I thought about was having an actual currency in game. The way you could earn this is by winning games, winning titles, winning cups. And I also thought about what if your stadium's bigger, you get more revenue from having more fans at the stadium, that kind of thing. Just something which makes the unlockables mean something. Because when you unlock something like a stadium in pro clubs or even go up a division, do you actually care? Because does it mean anything at all? Like when you win a cup match, do you care? Does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. With the money you earn, why can't they make it so you can upgrade the AI players so they don't completely suck? Or they could make it so you could design awesome kits, or buy the best training features to like grow your player. Why not make it so you use that to buy hairstyles or tattoos or stuff like that? Why not make it so like with the money you earn you could afford better AI players, that kind of thing, something to give you something to actually grind for and play the game? Because honestly, what they've done with this beta is they've changed nothing and tried to sell it off as a new game, and it's just unacceptable. I got a bit carried away with pro clubs there, but it just frustrates me because hopefully I've shown you how much potential the game actually has, yet they just neglect it because it doesn't bring them in any money. It honestly is like EA just don't care about their player base, and it's a shame to see because FIFA could be a really good game, and I'm not saying it's not good now, but they just refuse to change things that people want. So in my eyes, the beta was a fail, a big and utter fail, because they just haven't given anything to the people that support their game year in, year out. They've just punished them by giving them the exact same product. They've ignored suggestions that people have given them all year that they could have easily implemented. Like, I don't know, I just don't see why I thought I could expect any more of EA. Regardless though, I'm still looking forward to Ultimate Team, so I guess that's something, but it's just a shame because they could make this game so good. But yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. If you have enjoyed it or found it informative, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you all later. Peace.